Every minute you don't tell us why you're here, I cut off a finger.
Mine or yours?
Yours.
Damn. No! You're not gonna start humming the theme to Jeopardy, are you?
We start with the little one.
To ignore the facts of history and the aggressive impulses of an evil empire.
Well, I'm sure you can find a couple of men you won't mind wasting. You may begin now.
The 1980s was an era dominated by Cold War tensions and spy thrillers. Spies Like Us arrives as a comedic antidote to the genre's usual seriousness. Directed by John Landis and starring comedy heavyweights Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd, the film is a satirical romp through espionage tropes, military absurdities, and international intrigue, all delivered with a heavy dose of slapstick and sarcasm, blending political parody with buddy comedy dynamics. Spies Like Us attempts to spoof the seriousness of global superpower standoffs while showcasing the comedic chemistry of its leading duo.
Doctor.
Doctor?
Doctor.
But does its humor stand the test of time, or is it just a product of its Cold War context? I am Greg Knight, and today we will remember all of the funny moments in political satire. We're taking a closer look at the story behind Spies Like Us. Let's dive in.
Doctor.
Doctor?
Doctor.
Doctor?
Doctor.
Doctor?
Doctor.
Doctor?
Doctor.
Doctor?
Doctor.
Doctor.
And doctor. Well, we miss anyone?
The film follows unlikely spies Emmett Fitzhume, a smug, desk-bound bureaucrat, and Austin Milbarge, a codebreaker and tech genius. After cheating on a test during a recruitment exam, they're sent into a top-secret mission, not because they're qualified, but because they're expendable. These two are basically decoys sent on a wild goose chase across Central Asia to distract enemy forces from a real espionage mission. They find themselves trying to prevent nuclear war in a hidden Soviet missile site.
Haven't even put up their locator beacon. Means they're not hooked into Soviet defense chain.
It's a buddy comedy, a spy spoof, and a political satire roll into one, with a tone that flips between absurd and oddly relevant. The story of Spies Like Us was written by Dan Aykroyd and SCTV alumni Dave Thomas. You may remember him from his role in the 1983 film Strange Brew. Now, when Spies Like Us came out in December 1985, it definitely made good money, around $77 million worldwide, but critics were not impressed. In fact, Roger Ebert gave it 1.5 stars, calling it lazy and directionless.
Another split splice on Spies Like Us. Gene thought it was a funny thriller. I thought it had some nice moments, but not quite enough of them.
Yeah,
And
sure.
certainly not enough of Vanessa Angel, that's for sure.
But because of how it has resonated with fans, of course myself included, over time, especially those like me that love 80s comedies and absurd buddy dynamics, it has become a timeless and true cult classic. While it plays broad, Spies Like Us actually has some sharp satire under the surface. And with all of the boxes checked, you get the military-industrial complex, check, government bureaucracy, check, and Cold War paranoia, check. It raises a serious question. What if the people in charge are just making it up as they go?
A four-alarm fire in downtown Moscow clears way for a glorious new tractor factory.
This taps into that very 80s cynicism about the government, the idea that behind all the seriousness of the geopolitics might just be a bunch of clueless guys in suits pushing buttons and signing paperwork they don't fully understand. The nuclear war paranoia was everywhere during the Cold War and remains that way even today. The threat of a small mistake turning into a global crisis still lingers. The comedy in Spies Like Us, two idiots accidentally triggering Armageddon, feels less like a fantasy and more like a horrifying oops headline waiting to happen. The movie is essentially a long con where the protagonists bluff their way through every situation. Today that's called personal branding. And at a deeper level, Spies Like Us is a story about identity and the performance of competence. Fitzhume and Milbarge are not spies, they're imposters, but what the film ultimately suggests is that everyone else in power is also performing too. I bet you didn't know that the film's director, John Landis, yep, the guy behind Animal House, The Blues Brothers, and Trading Places, had written the story and was scheduled to direct another Cold War comedy, Clue the movie. And although it is not explicitly a Cold War film, it contains subtle Cold War era influences that reflect the time in, which it was being made. When Clue was greenlit for production, he was already in the middle of filming Spies Like Us, resulting in him having to pass that director's baton to his hand-picked replacement, who was my cousin Vinny's director, Jonathan Lynn.
But if you want to know who killed Mr. Body, I did. In the hall. With the revolver.
Won't you gentlemen have a Pepsi?
Won't you gentlemen have a Pepsi?
2 Pepsis to go.
What do we do?
Won't you gentlemen have a Pepsi?
You do it.
Spies Like Us features several memorable cameos that add to its comedic and pop culture appeal, from Frank Oz, the voice of Yoda.
You are reckless.
So was I, if you remember.
The first step in an operation of this particular type is...
It also includes brief appearances by renowned directors such as Terry Gilliam, Joel Cohen, Sam Raimi, and Costa Gravas. Their appearances serve as Easter eggs for film buffs and nods to the industry.
to shave the patient.
Another thing you may have forgotten is that there is a direct connection to Spies Like Us and the Beatles. Yes, that's right, you heard me. Through the film's official theme song, also titled, Spies Like Us. The track was written and performed by Paul McCartney specifically for the movie. The song became a hit in its own right, reaching number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100 in the United States, marking one of McCartney's successful solo chart entries in the 80s. The film was also modeled after the classic Road 2 movie starring Bob Hope and Bing Crosby. It was a mix of travel comedy and buddy adventure. In fact, Bob Hope also stopped by for a brief cameo.
You're talking to Mr. Hands.
Mind if I play through? Doctor? Glad I'm not sick.
As for the jokes, do they hit or do they miss? I'd say that's in the eyes of the beholder, but in my eyes, they hit. They're gold. Chases deadpans through every situation with the grace of a man who knows he shouldn't be there, while Aykroyd delivers technobabble like he's defending a PhD thesis in gibberish.
Well, the Chinese were only using a simple polyphonetically grouped 20-square digit key transposed in booster-verdonic form with multiple nulls. Broke it with this.
A Drogon's decoder wheel? They put these things into cereal boxes for kids.
Spies Like Us is definitely a milestone film, at least to me. This goofy Cold War comedy holds a special place in film history and in my heart. And speaking of milestones, wrapping up this Spies Like Us video, I just wanted to say how much it means to share these kinds of films with you. Hitting 10,000 subscribers is honestly surreal, and when I started this channel, I never imagined this kind of support. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for being part of this journey. Here's to more laughs, more nostalgia, and many more movies to come. I am Greg Knight, and again, we must part ways. So until the next one, good night.
You want a coffee?
That's a good idea.
And on the lighter side of the news, hundreds of capitalists are soon to perish in shuttle disaster.
Funny moments and political satire we're taking. But by the time Clue was ready to move into production, John Landis, which it was made, and it's just us, and it. I don't know why I'm laughing, but this movie makes me laugh. Just love it anyway.